Hi everyone, welcome to today's video where we're going to be looking at design alternatives. Our task is to create two types of interior design in this space, one with classic style and one with modern style. With the help of the layer variations, we will be able to easily switch between them, showing the two types of variations in the same project. I'll show you the layout of the two interior design. On the left you see the classic, on the right the modern version. First, we'll do the classic interior. For this I've already downloaded the necessary objects from 3D Warehouse. I have categorized them into two different subcategories in the Design Center: Objects, 3D Warehouse menu, Classic and Modern, so I can find them easily. Let's start with the classic interior design. I will use the drag and drop method to insert the necessary objects into 3D. We will be able to change their position on the floor plan afterwards. First I will drag in the rug, then the armchair and the coffee table. I place a flower on the coffee table. I move a little closer to it, so I can work more accurately. I will also place a lamp, whose relative height I will adjust in 3D. I click on it, and by selecting the blue arrow and using the Move command, I raise the lamp to the ceiling. I go back to 01 stairs view and place the pictures on the wall. In the hallway we will need a console table. I switch to the 02 hall view. Here I place the table. The mirror above it. The table lamp. The perfume diffuser and a plant on it. I also add a ceiling light, which I will modify on the floor plan. I go back to the first view, activate the floor plan window and place the objects. I place the ceiling lamp, then I move the table lamp and the perfume diffuser a bit forward. I rotate the armchair and mirror it with Mirror a Copy command. I specify the axis of the mirroring, and the second armchair is made. I also move the flower a bit away. Let's have a look in 3D. We're ready with the first version, the classic interior design. The next task is to place the objects on the right layers. To do this, we first need to create new layers. I go back to the floor plan and create the new layers in the Layer Manager. Under Used Layers we see the layers that we use in this project. I've already made 3 layers, the 0 prepared, the 1 classic stairs and the 2 modern stairs. These are the names we will use for the new layers. You can create a new layer by clicking on all layers. Here we can see all the layers that are in the ARCHLine.XP. You can create a new layer by using the Add New Layer command. Click on it, the new layer is created. Click on the layer, and rename it to 1 Classic Furniture. I create a new layer. I copy the name of the first layer with Ctrl+C, paste it with Ctrl+V, and rename it to Lighting. I'm going to add an extra layer again, this called Decoration. The 3 new layers are ready. Okay, I accept it. Let's start putting the right objects on them. Switching to the floor plan. I select the furniture with Ctrl. I can either move the objects to the 1 Classic Furniture layer at the bottom or on the left side in Properties. I move them to Classic Furniture layer. If I click on one of the armchairs, we can see on the left that it is on the right layer. Let's continue with the decorations. I choose the plants, the rug, the pictures, and the mirror. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Now I choose the Classic Decorations layer in the Properties on the left. All that's left is the lighting. Using Control key, I select the lights and transfer them to the One Classic Lighting layer. Let's check with Layer Walk that we've done our job right. Press Control key and remove furnitures from the list. You can see if all the objects have been placed on the correct layer. I turn off the furniture, decorations, and lighting. We can see on the floor plan that we've done a good job. I also turn off the One Classic Stairs layer, so we can start making the modern furnishing in a completely empty space. I turn on the Modern Stairs layer. I have pre-placed some objects that I have put on the Zero Prepared layer. I turn that on too. OK, I accept it, they appear on the floor plan. To see this change in 3D, we need to rebuild the 3D model with the hammer icon. Let's look at this in 3D. We will place the furniture in this new, modern interior. In the Modern subcategory of the Design Center, Object menu, we will find the necessary furniture, which I will place in 3D. I drag in the rug, the armchair, the coffee table. I put decoration on it. At the back I put a plant and a floor lamp. Let's decorate the hallway. Switch to 02 Hall View. I place the console table, which I'll modify in the floor plan. I place a lamp, a flower, and a mirror above it. I forgot to place the lamp in the 01 view. I drag the lamp into 3D, then click the blue arrow and use the Move command to adjust the height. I switch back to the 01 stair view and position the objects on the floor plan. I go back to the floor plan and move the objects into place. We're ready with the second version, the modern interior design. Let's continue with the layers. I go back to the floor plan and in the Layer Manager, I click on all layers and select Add New Layer. I create new layers. The first one is 2 Modern Furniture. Next is 2 Modern Lighting, then 2 Modern Decoration. It's done. Let's move the objects on the floor plan to the correct layer. First, I select the furniture and move it to the 2 Modern Furniture layer. I select the decorations. I also transfer the decoration of the back wall to this layer. I select the other decorations, including the plant and the rug, and transfer them to the 2 Modern Decorations layer. I select the lighting, the wall lights that I've already placed, the ceiling lamp and the decorative lighting. I transfer them to the 2 modern lighting layer. When we're done, we'll check in Layer Walk if we've done a good job. I press Ctrl key and turn off these layers from the list. We see that one lamp is not yet placed. We'll quickly change that. It goes to the 2 modern lighting layer. I'll turn these layers back. We've finished decorating the 2 interior and moved the objects to their correct layers. Now we're going to make layer variations, which help us switch between the 2 styles of interior with a couple clicks. I go to the Layer Manager and select the layers I use. In the Variations menu, I click plus to create a new variation by turning layers on and off. Let's create the modern layer variation first. Clicking the plus button will create the new variation. I rename it to Modern. I go back to all layers, and turn off the modern layers. To turn off modern stairs, I need to make another layer active. I click on Classic Stairs, activate that one. I can also turn off the layers at the same time. I click on the first modern layer, then hold Shift key and click on the last one. I turn them off at the same time. I click on the plus button and rename it to Classic. We're done with our 2 variations. Okay, we'll accept it. Let's look at the modern variation first. At the top we can switch between the layer variations easily. Now the modern variation is selected, we can see it on the floor plan and in 3D. I select the classic variation, in the floor plan it changes immediately. To see this change in 3D, we have to rebuild the 3D model with the hammer. The 3D has changed immediately. Check out the other views of the classic interior. Let's take another look at how the modern interior is changing. The floor plan is active, I switch to modern. Immediately the floor plan changes, then I use the hammer icon to rebuild the 3D. Let's look at this in several views. I go back to the first view. The last one I'll show you is, how can we put a view of these 2 variations, side by side on a plot layout. I prepare a plot layout by using Documentation, Plot Layout, Prepare Plot Layout. It will be an A3 landscape layout. I don't create a plot stamp. I have created the plot layout, I magnify the 3D. I activate the plot layout on the right, and drag the View 2 from the Project Navigator to the plot layout. I place the view. I activate the floor plan and switch on the classic layer variation. I rebuild the 3D. I drag View 2 from the Project Navigator to the plot layout again and place it. Let's look at it. I'm cropping a bit from the edges of the image, to make it bigger, and get a better view. I scale them. This way, you can easily place the 2 variations on one plot layout. This brings us to the end of today's video. Thank you very much for joining me. I hope it was useful for you. Have a nice day. Bye.